Hey fam, what's up? It is September 5th, around 8 o'clock at night. Had something on my mind for the last few days and figured I would come on and talk about it. I promised, some more videos, and I really haven't gotten to that. Been working a full time job and takes up a lot of time. But I didn't come here to just work until I die. I came here to Earth on a mission. My life has a strong purpose that I've had since I was really young. Some people feel that, some don't, whatever. But some things have been weighing heavily on my mind. So I'll just get right into it. This past year has been the hardest year of my entire life. And I really didn't think that it could get any harder, really. When I lost my mom, I thought that was the hardest year of my life, and that was in 2011. And that started a deep spiritual journey for me that, I already thought I was on a spiritual journey. I had moved to California for college. I had started doing yoga. That was my first time experiencing yoga and was instantly hooked. I think I've always been into spirituality. It's always been something that I've held really strong to, and really dived into and wanted to know more about. But I don't think you realize sometimes when you're going on the spiritual path that it's not all light and love. And I really teeter-tottered between light and dark after losing my mom. That was an experience that really put me down in a very dark place. And see, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So it's been 7 years. So generally we go through 7-year cycles of something. It's just like an astrological thing, or I don't really know why. I heard that from quite a few people in the spiritual community that it's like 7-year cycles that we have. And I think they even talk about it in the Bible and multiple spiritual texts for various reasons. But yeah, the last 7 years have been extremely tough, and I've worked really, really hard. But I've had just no stability whatsoever, no financial stability. My home situation has not been stable. I have moved around more in the 7 years than I ever have in my entire life. Everybody thinks I'm military or married to military or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm just moving for whatever reason. Like, I just haven't had a stable environment. Haven't been able to have security of any kind. No safety net whatsoever. And so I've really become the seeker at this point. Like, why? Always asking why? Why are things so bad? And why can I not find my place? And so after my mom went through a tough time, even got into a relationship that was really tumultuous, and that ended, and then met my husband, got married pretty quickly, and moved out to Fayetteville. And when I got there, it was just like all this trauma kind of crashed down on me. And I had what I call the year of silence. I don't even know what he probably thought was going on, but I would sit on the couch sometimes for hours just in my head and going through my entire life, just not knowing what to do. I started meeting with a life coach, which certainly helped to give me some sense of direction and change my life and examine some things in myself. But from there, I had a lot of insights, and then I moved forward and got into my yoga teacher training. People kept coming up to me asking me, like, I'm in so much pain, I'm hurting, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, don't you know yoga? And I was like so lost. I hadn't done yoga in so long, especially since my mom passed. I kind of was like slumped down in a bad place. But so many people asked me that I got into my training. And the first day of my 200 hour, I couldn't even introduce myself and give my name. I burst into tears, and it was like all these years of compound trauma just came pouring out of me. Thank God I was in a safe place to open up like that because I'm not really the type of person to go out and cry in front of people. But through that safe place and crying in front of people, I made it my mission to start crying in front of people because being vulnerable is a very powerful thing. And I'm the kind of person that really just holds things inside and won't share those things with people. But the more that I've shared, the more that I realize that there are a lot of really heavy things that other people have gone through. And it really helps to share. And that's a way to connect with others that are also holding things inside and they feel trapped and they feel isolated. That connection is everything. It can pull you out of a very dark place, a very sinister place sometimes. So I've committed to being more vulnerable and opening up more about these things. And yeah. Eventually, I started my 300-hour training, and I did that in yoga therapeutics or therapeutic yoga and trauma-sensitive yoga. And really went down this path of just learning as much as I can about trauma to help other people get through experiences like I have, where there were times in my life that I seriously considered suicide. So this is going to be a double video. I'm going to bring up a lot of points here. I'm not beyond it. I multiple times have considered suicide very seriously. And people need to know that. I've lost a friend to suicide. And I don't think it's a selfish choice when you're the person that is in that, you're just so tortured. You are so tortured and you feel like maybe there's no other option and you need to get out of this path, out of this hell. And you feel trapped and you feel like your only way out is to just end it. You're not alone. A lot of people have been there, believe it or not, whether they share that or not. Sometimes it's really embarrassing to talk about. You don't want to be judged. But this last year, man, I did my 300-hour, completed all 500 hours of training, wanted to jump into teaching yoga. It's kind of hard when you're a new teacher to just have all the clients lined up and your rent is paid. You almost need a little extra support somehow to be able to get there. And so I've been trying to figure that out. But still finding time for myself to practice and getting lost in the day-to-day events of life. And somehow made it past all of these really hard experiences. Woke up one day after one of my trainings, I went to work, and it was actually my first day at a new job, came home and my husband had left. He didn't leave a note. He took all of his things and I crumbled. I wanted to die. I literally wanted to die. Yeah. Somehow I made it through that. Came out to Wilmington, was homeless for 3 weeks. You gotta laugh at it. You gotta laugh at some of the things just get so ridiculous that you have to find just some sort of laughter in the ridiculousness of it. And came to this house with yogis in it and thought it would be stable. I stayed maybe 10 months, I think I lived in that house and kept trying to find stability. It was just not stable. Picked up a job, loved the job, wasn't enough hours, wasn't enough pay, ended up losing the job. Here I am doubting myself again. Having a hard time. Wilmington can be a hard place to live. It's so beautiful and it's so magical, but sometimes it's really hard to find a place to live. It's really hard to find a good job. The cost of living compared to the pay out here it's pretty tough, but we're all here for a reason, right? So as I'm contemplating back on all of this, I started to think about things like, why are things not getting better, right? I've done all of the spiritual work. I seriously, I have skipped going out. I have skipped being social. I have kept my head down. I have been on the floor, hands and knees, crying, praying, meditating all hours of the freaking night, all hours of the morning, waking up at 4:30 in the morning to get up and meditate, meditating and reading spiritual texts all hours of the morning before I have to go to work at 8 a.m. Why are things not better? Why am I not manifesting? Why do I still have so many questions, I'm getting beat up here, guys. I am literally getting beat up. And I have contacted, my good friends. I've contacted my really good friend who's a psychic. I'm like, what's going on? I've contacted my really good friend of many years who is an infamous palm reader, astrologer, Eastern and Western, over 20 years. They're all saying the same thing. Embrace the shit. Embrace it, because this is the message that's coming up. And I'm like, what is this supposed to mean? What is this in between? Well, a couple weeks ago, or actually a couple months ago at this point, things were pretty bad. Because I'm on this path of just crap right now. And I kept getting this message in my head, like clear as day. And it was like, trust fall. You ever see when you have two people, partners, and you want to practice whether they trust each other or not, and one faces their back towards the other partner, and they might close their eyes and they just fall flat as a board backwards. And the partner behind them is supposed to catch them. And I kept getting this message in my head, like trust fall, not knowing why. And so it's coming up for me again, like, remember that thing we said, like, trust fall. And I'm like, what is this supposed to mean? Because right now nothing is going right. So who am I trusting? What am I trusting? And I think that this is a real test right now. This is a really, really heavy test. Like, I'm at my wit's end, or at least I feel like I've been at my wit's end for freaking years. I am tired. I am spiritually worn out. I am physically, mentally, emotionally worn out. I have been putting the work in. I don't just talk the talk. I have been walking the walk silently, without really, not many people have, they're not around for that. It's private. But here I am now talking about it. I've done courses. I've worked with psychics. I've worked with the palm reader. I've worked with amazing coaches, life coaches, people that coach me in Aramaic forgiveness. I have done so much work. I don't understand why it's getting better or not getting better. And what came up for me, I tried to go silent. I went silent and just cleared my mind. I can be very, I can have, a lot of chitta. I'm very vata, very type A sometimes, where, my mind's just constantly racing. I'm constantly thinking of, the negative. It's a practice. You literally have to practice putting in the positive mantras constantly, or else my mind will run away with it. But I found some silence, even though my life doesn't feel very yogic or spiritual at this moment, but every second is spiritual. We just have to bring that mindfulness to it. And in that silence, I had a memory come up, and it was something that I actually asked my life coach a while ago. And I see all these courses offered online or all over the place they talk about the Akashic records and clearing, why don't you clear your Akashic records and get off the karmic wheel, or there's so many things out there, so many things. And for some reason, when I would see those ads for that, I would get a little bit triggered. I'm like, why would I want to clear the Akashic records? This is where these spiritual beings are supposed to go in. They read our memories and our past lifetimes. And this is information stored. And if we have these Akashic records, aren't they for a reason? And I know a lot of people, they want to go and clear them, and, they claim things get better. And I talked to my life coach about it, and she, helps not lead me, but guide me so that I find the answer myself. And what came up for me was that I didn't come here to clear the Akashic records. I didn't come here to have a good time. I thought I did. I'm thinking, man, I put all this work in. I should be like driving a really nice Porsche or BMW right now, right? Like I'm supposed to get these, I don't know, accolades and like where's the law of attraction? Like I've been focusing on that and trying to practice and put in the law of attraction. Like why is this not working for me? I should be having so much fun and living free, right? No, no. So a lot of times when a spiritual message will come to me is when I'm driving my car. For whatever reason, it's just I'm by myself. I'm in silence sometimes, or maybe I have music on, but it's when I'm really with myself and I have my thoughts and I might be just like my mind might have a moment of clarity. I'm just kind of on the road, like I'm going down a long road and I'm not really thinking about too much. And it sort of all came to me like, Hoka, you thought you came here for a good time. You thought you came here to party. You thought you earned your right to just go freeball it all over the place. Like, no. And so it brought me back to that memory of that day I had with my coach. And I came here to serve. I came here to serve karma. There are so many weird things my entire life that have happened that are so ridiculous. And I'm sure many of them are from my own doing. Somehow I have done something, cause and effect, right? But also there's some weird stuff that has happened that like, really? Really? And just my entire life, they continue to happen. Like they're not normal things at all. And why is it that certain people just have all this weird stuff happen to them all the time? Like what is in my aura that's like, hey, over here, weird stuff. Come over here because Hoka, like, ding, 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 she's the one that wants this weird stuff to happen in her life. And I'm thinking in my mind, like, no, I just want to do yoga and freaking eat mangoes and avocados, you know? Like, what is this weird stuff? But yeah, it occurred to me that I did not come here to just have a good time. I came here to serve, and I came here to serve karma, and it made sense. I didn't come here to clear my Akashic records. I came here to serve out not just my karma, but my family's karma. Pain will travel through your DNA, through lineages, through generations. It will continue. All that trauma, all those experiences, they will travel through your DNA for a long time until somebody is ready to feel it. Think about that. So this crap that's going on, like, it may not be yours. Like, it's yours. It is yours, but it may not be from you. It may be from or it could be from you, but it's maybe not this lifetime. It could be from a past lifetime. It could be from a parent, a grandparent, or someone in your family. And here you are on earth and you're faced with it and you have the opportunity. I mean, you have free will. You have the opportunity to say, no, I don't want to integrate that. I don't want to experience it, and you brush it off. And then it's either going to keep coming back and hitting you, or it's going to pass on to the next generation. Or you could say, I accept this. I'm going to take it. I'm going to integrate it and release it. So I thought that I came here to have a good time. That was the ego demand. That was the ego, like, we want to get rich quick and go have a good time. No, I came here to serve. I came here to serve my family's karma. And I came here to finalize that so that my family and the future of my family does not have to experience these things anymore. So I'm in the suck right now. And I think I just woke up to that. Like, I've really been feeling that woe is me, and I want to be done with this. I want to move forward with my life. I don't want to be Well, I was gonna say I don't want to be alone, but I actually really don't mind being alone because I'm a weirdo like that. But I just don't want to be. I thought, I didn't want to be living the suck anymore, and then I realized that I really have to embrace that because that's what I came here to do. I came here to do that. And it really pulls together. I know I'm kind of all over the place right now. Some of this may not make sense to some of you, and you can throw that out, whatever. Take what resonates, whatever. Ask me questions, whatever. But when I went to Mexico after my mom passed, like that was a very spiritual journey, and I was gone for a month. And what I learned there is based on my birth date, because the Mayan people, they hold things very sacred. And the day that you're born, there's a number to it, a numerology. There's a spiritual aspect to it. And so for my birthday, I came up as a 13 Ebb. The number 13 being the number of completion. So this all makes sense. Like I came here to complete this. I'm writing out our karmic cycle, and I want it to be done. And it sucks, but this is a celebration. And so all these weird dreams I've had over the last few years, they've been very karmic in nature, and I don't even have enough time to tell you the string of dreams that I've had, but there's certain dreams that come from consciousness in the daytime to unconsciousness, back to consciousness, just like, oh, I watched a movie and then there's like elements of the movie in the dream. These dreams were not like that. These dreams that I've been having, they are extremely symbolic. And when you start to pay attention to your dreams and write them down, you start to notice things that they weave together, even though it doesn't seem like it. But when you remember them or you write them down, and writing them down will help you remember them, they will end up weaving together, and there will be common themes. And all these dreams over the last few years, that's what they've been telling me. I just didn't know because I was constantly looking for answers outside of me. Like, what do you think this dream means? What do you think this dream means? Not realizing that our symbols are our own. You have to really delve into your own consciousness to find that. But yeah. So if you're going through a sucky situation right now, try not to get into the woe is me cycle, because you're gonna dig that encoding into your DNA even more, even deeper. If it's coming up right now, it's giving you the opportunity to heal that situation and get it out of your field, your energetic field, for good. So you really want to face it, and you really want to embrace it. And the best way that I've found to do that, which is one of the hardest things for me to do, is to have a really open heart. Which means not sitting like this, but being like open heart, breathing. If any of you are like me, when I'm having a traumatic or woe is me moment, I tend to be like kind of crouched over, kind of guarding my heart. I'm not breathing fully. It takes a conscious effort to inhale and exhale fully and just allow that space. And then think about the thing that's really bothering you, that crappy experience that you're going through, and finding forgiveness. Not worrying about the why. Forget the why. That will drive you crazy. I've been down that road. It will absolutely drive you crazy. You may or may not ever find out the why. You may or may not ever find out the story behind where it came from. It doesn't matter. What matters is finding an effective way to integrate this experience so that you can move on from it. So open heart, breathing fully, inhaling and exhaling fully, and forgiveness. Forgiveness being, it's just so important to forgive. Forgive however you need to forgive. Forgive in a way that feels good. Releasing it, not pushing it away, but forgiving the situation, forgiving yourself for being a part of it. If you feel guilty, whatever you're feeling, forgiving your guilt over it. If you feel, whatever negative feelings you might be feeling, forgiving that, forgiving the other person, releasing it, and breathing. And when you're breathing, just notice if you, because I do this a lot, notice if you tend to do this. Because if I'm really stressed out and I'm feeling tense, I'll breathe up into here and then I start having these like really weird muscle spasms. So you want to breathe not like that, but into your chest so that your ribs are expanding, into your belly so that your belly's expanding. And you might even put your hands there. You might feel that expansion. You might put your hands up here to just allow the deepest breath that you can, but making sure that you're not holding and restricting the breath, and thinking about just connecting with your heart, taking a deep breath, and finding forgiveness. And as crappy as it is, don't get tense. Try not to become restricted. Try not to be resistant, but just embrace it. Allow it. As much as you allow air into your lungs, allow the situation and then exhale it, forgive it. And then just continue with a really great meditation practice and see where it gets you. Maybe start just jotting these things down and just see where it gets you. See if there's a pattern. See if you can clear up a pattern. I'm actually really curious about other people and, if they're going through, crappy experience after crappy experience, like, what's your practice? Or if you've tried these tools, where has it gotten you or not gotten you? Hit me up. Let me know. Because if you're going through a crap time right now, I'm right there with you. Hang in there. Keep breathing. Heart space, forgiveness. Love you guys. Bye.